YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we're going to be looking at making up an external power supply for the Flysky, and this is the FRM 302 range extender, which we've done a full video on how you set this up and get it working with the Noble Pro and the MB4. So we're going to need the range extender, you're going to need a bit of wire, and they don't need to be too heavy gauge for this. You're going to need an XT30 plug, and that's for the base of the range extender. And then you're going to need another connector for whatever type of battery you're going to run this off. This will run from 5 to 28 volt, so you've got a lot of choice. Whatever your most common battery is, whatever's most easiest for you to use. We've got a load of 2S batteries that are Dean's T connector, so we're going to do this. Right, so basically all we need to do is solder these two together and get some nice heat shrink on it so we don't get any shorts. So let's try and get you a close-up of what we're actually working on. Right, so this is going to be his little connector, and it's going to be the squared off one that is positive. So we've got a squared off one to that side. Then we're just going to need to bare a little bit of these cables, so we've got something to solder to. And you can use either a knife, a sharp pair of scissors, but basically what you're looking to do is just bare a little bit of the ends on them. I find it easier, especially with really soft silicone coated cable like this. Nice sharp pair of scissors does it pretty good. Right, next thing we're going to want to do is get a little bit of solder flowing onto this connector. So we're just going to tin either side of it, and then I'm going to do the same to the cable. And just want to get a tiny amount of solder flowing onto the actual cable itself. It just makes this next part a whole lot easier. So if you get your cable roughly where you want it, start heating the cable first, especially with these small connectors. And then you can just get the cable to drop into position. I'll do the exact same on this side. So that's got his cable on, and we've not melted his plug, which is good. Then we want to get some heat shrink around it. So let's have a look what we've got. So once we've got his heat shrink, you can just drop this onto the cable. And you want to push this all the way down. Now with this solder station, you can just take a cigarette lighter to it or run around with soldering iron. With this solder station, I've actually got a heat gun, which does make this a lot easier. And you just want to keep pushing the heat shrink down, make sure it doesn't work its way up. Right, so there we have it. That is the XT30 side done, positive to the bigger connector, and this is just going to plug into the bottom of the unit like that. So next thing we're going to want to do is get whatever lead you are going to be using for your battery. So in this case we're going for a Dean's T style connector. And I like using the ones with these little covers on them because there's no messing around with heat shrink. So again, on these, if they're not like this style has the plus and minus on, but basically your positive terminal is the one that goes across the plug, and your negative is the one that goes straight up and down. So let's get that one into position, and then again you just want to bare a little tiny bit of these wires. Let's see if I can get that off. Because we don't need a lot, don't need an awful lot to get to on this. And then we're just going to tin these wires. So you just need to let the solder work its way in. Right, so again, negative pin is the one that goes up and down, positive the one that goes left to right. Now this connector, I've already used it once, so I don't need to do any extra work tinning the cables, the pins. Right, let's see if I can get you a shot of this. It's going to be easier said than done, because I've still got to get an angle on it that I can solder it. But basically that's what we're looking for, nicely soldered on. And then with these ones you can just slide the clip down and it just goes into place, no need for heat shrink or anything. And if it's a nice connector like these, they've got the plus and minus on, negative and positive, so you can make sure you've got your cables in the right place. Right, so that is our lead all built up. Then you don't want to power this up without an antenna connected, because they are high power transmitters, and basically the SWR's wrong with no antenna and you can blow your transmission unit. So the switch on the bottom, you want it switched towards the XT30, and then you just plug it in. So you should have positive on that side, negative, switch across, and then if we get our LiPo battery, we're going to try a 2S on this one, and you plug it in, and then you see the unit powers up and it's looking to connect to the receiver. So let's wrap this one up. So there we have it, one cable made up, one range extender, and once you've got this cable made up, in the video where I show how to set this up, you can then put it into really high power mode, and you can use this antenna or you can use the directional beam antenna. Please be careful using this and make sure you stay within the laws of the area where you live. I'm sure none of you is going to put it in crazy high power mode. Now you can run it off a LiPo and do anything illegal with it. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I'll catch you guys again in the next one.